Welcome back, folks. I'm Jake ELLENBOGEN. Today, I'm going to be talking about really just my thoughts going into the first game of the season, stuff that's on my mind, notes that I wrote down, because I think there's quite a few things that, just need to be addressed. So before we dive into that, be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Also, be sure to follow me on all social media at JKBogan, including Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter. And as always, today's sponsor of today's video is Prize Picks, which you can get $50 instantly when you play $5 lineup. You don't even have to win. You get it instantly. So be sure to sign up today using my promo code JKBogan. Also, just want to let you guys know that one Caleb Williams passing yard is going to get you one win on Prize Picks every week in September. This is kind of a big deal. It's basically a freebie, and it's for 4 weeks, and it only lasts until the end of December. So when it's gone, it's gone. You don't want to miss this deal on Prize Picks. I've been playing Prize Picks for years, and really there's no better feeling of seeing your lineup turn green and, seeing that payout hit your account. If you're trying to get involved today and you want to know how to play, it's very simple. You pick 2 to 6 players that, you like their projections, and you decide whether they're going to have more or less on their projections, and you choose those, and that's how it works. Again, you can download the app today and use the promo code JKBogan to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks, run your game. All right, guys. So I have a long list of notes that I've just been compiling over the last week or so. And so I wanted to address all of them on the eve. Not quite the eve. I guess the eve, right? It's not like it doesn't have to be at night, right? I guess it's still the eve of Rams football. Let's start from the top. I mean, first off, with the offense, I think Blake Corum, I think people kind of see his role a little bit differently than I do. Blake Corum, I feel like, is going to have a role in the passing game. That's going to be like his main thing. Kyren Williams is capable, but I think we saw last year that was not his best, fit. And so I kind of feel like they brought in Blake Corum, obviously, to, replicate a lot of what Kyren can do. But I also think they like him in the passing game. So I think there's upside there. I wouldn't be surprised if he ends up having a really good game against the Lions in the passing game. But I just can't help but think that's kind of, really the plan there. Jordan Whittington is going to be a gadget guy immediately. What I mean by that is I think, the first game of the year, we're going to see 88 a lot. Maybe not a lot, but we'll see him a decent amount. I think he's going to be end arounds, potential, in the backfield like a Deebo Samuel. I truly feel like that's kind of how they look at him right now, and he'll eventually evolve into a starting wide receiver. But we're going to see a lot of number 88 this year, and that was just definitely one of those things that I kept really thinking about. Like, this guy, I mean, you guys know I was a big fan of him coming out, but this guy is definitely carving out a role for himself in this organization. The other thing I'd say is I have no idea what to think about Tutu Atwell. My gut kind of tells me, I hope he gets a legit shot, but my gut tells me that he's likely, I won't say it's definite, but I wouldn't be shocked if he's traded like Van Jefferson was. If that happens, of course, that's done, and then Jordan Whittington takes over as the 4 or maybe even the 3. So we'll see, but I'm a big fan of Atwell. I feel like his skill set can be utilized more consistently. He caught the touchdown against the Lions in the playoffs. Obviously, we saw the first game of the season, 100-yard game, looked good against the 49ers. I just don't understand. I guess I really just have no idea what to make of Tutu Atwell in this offense. He should be totally utilized. If I'm the Rams, going back to 2021 to 2022 when they won the Super Bowl, you guys will remember week 3 against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, okay? Week 3, Deshaun Jackson went off. I want to see that utilization more of Tutu Atwell, but I also feel like Tutu Atwell is underrated because he's not just a speed guy, a gadget guy, whatever. He's not just like I'm going to run straight down the field. He's a good route runner. Okay, he creates separation, and he's got great hands and actually can high point the football despite the fact he's 5'9". So I really like Atwell. We'll see what ends up happening, but I wouldn't rule out a trade, unfortunately. Another one, offensive line, mainly left tackle. How much of a weak link is this going to be? Because I keep looking at it. Avila, Jonah Jackson, if he stays healthy, Kevin Dotson, Rob Havenstein. Those 4 are great. But, like, where are we on the left tackles? I mean, Alaric is solid, and Noteboom is okay. But Noteboom has a lot. He needs to prove himself. Like, if he comes out, he had a great game against the Giants. That was his last start, I think. And he was great. I'm going to need to see him do something in this game. I'm going to need to see him be really good in this game. Because, I mean, if he does, then, okay, he's carried on that momentum, essentially, when he played in, MetLife Stadium when I was there. I mean, he didn't give up a pressure or a sack. So, well, a sack or a pressure probably would be the word usage. But, yeah, I think definitely looking at that, I am concerned that the most important position, protecting Matthew Stafford's blind side, is the weak link. So hopefully we get some good play out of Noteboom. And then, if Jackson's better, then when Jackson comes back, he plays at a good level. But that's kind of what I've been thinking about. Another thing I've been thinking about is how much usage should we expect out of the tight ends? Are we going to see a designated red zone threat in either of them, Davis Allen, or, of course, the starter, Colby Parkinson? That's something that I'm very curious about. How much are they going to utilize Parkinson? Because I think in this game, he could be an X factor. He could be what we saw in the Ravens-Chiefs game. He could be like Isaiah Likely. So, obviously, he's a better athlete. I think Likely ran like a 4.8 40. So it is kind of a reminder that 40 times really aren't all that it's cracked up to be. But how much should we expect Colby Parkinson and Davis Allen in the passing game? Like, I'm very curious. I think Parkinson, they like Davis Allen, but if they liked him more than, if they liked him as much as I did, then they probably would have just been like, yeah, we're not going to sign Colby Parkinson. Another thing here, is Kobe Turner due for a regression in year 2? So Kobe Turner was the guy that had the baton pass from Aaron Donald, and it just feels like things have been so quiet with him. And I don't know why. No one talks about him. This guy was runner-up defensive rookie of the year, should have won. And no one mentions him. So that doesn't mean because he's not being talked about in camp, he's going to be bad. But I do wonder if, maybe he does have a little bit of a regression, a little bit of a fall off, and maybe in his place, a guy like Braden Fisk steps up, or Bobby Brown, or, somebody along those lines. So I don't have a football explanation for it. I just kind of have a weird feeling he's going to fall off a little bit because last season was great, but I think he's a great player. So I hope I'm wrong, but I kind of have that feeling. I don't know. And this is not meant to throw shade at anybody. Like, I'm a big Kobe Turner fan. So by any means, I'm not trying to hate on him. I'm giving you like my thoughts right before the season, things that are on my mind. I cannot shake the feeling that Omar Speights is going to end up starting sooner than later, despite all the Reader and Roseboom praise. I've said this on Downtown Rams now twice. I also kind of feel like the way they used Ernest Jones last year as a blitzing linebacker and being the best in the league at it, I kind of feel like they're going to go back and use Troy Reader that way. And I could be wrong, but again, you go back to the Reader game where he had 3 sacks against Washington. It's there. He's capable. The ability is there. So I don't know what direction they go in there. I can't shake the feeling that Omar Speights is like, I don't remember who did it, so I can't give credit, unfortunately. I saw a tweet in response to one of my posts, and it was like, I see it going along the lines of Baker Mayfield when John Wolford started the game, and then Baker Mayfield basically came out and just became the starter. I could see that. I could absolutely see that. You start off the game with Reader and Roseboom, and then, as the game goes on, you bring in Omar Speights. I would not be surprised if that was the case. There's just something about Speights. I feel like he's just meant to kind of stick around. So I've been told that the Rams are set at cornerback. It doesn't sound like they're going to add anybody. And if I'm being honest with you, Okello's not going to be available to sign, as I've said, after this week. For the people out there that act like he doesn't have a market, well, he's going to sign somewhere. The problem is that if you sign a guy now, his contract is guaranteed. Whereas if you sign him after, week one, contracts aren't guaranteed. So you can offer them more money because it's not guaranteed. It's not, you know what I mean? So that's the thing there. But yeah, anybody who was hoping like myself that Kello would be back, and look, I'll be honest with you, big fan of Okello, big fan, of his dad, obviously friends there, but like it's a bummer because I think he could really help this team out. It's not just like, oh, that'd be cool because I'm friends with him. It's more so I feel like they really should have him, but they're apparently really high on the two UDFAs, Josh Wallace and Charles Woods. So we'll see what ends up happening. And you can't really, the way Sean McVay and Les Snead have done things, I can't count them out. So they could be onto something there with Josh Wallace and Charles Woods. We'll see what ends up happening, but interesting stuff. Cameron Kinchin's got a decent amount of reps with the ones and only played one preseason game. So I'm just curious, like, how much run is he going to get? Because, I mean, I could see him getting 15, 20 snaps in sub-package roles. I mean, he's a ball hawk, and I think he offers the best, ball ability, I at least I think so, ball skills-wise. So, yeah, I mean, we'll see, but that's definitely a guy that I'm looking at. Another one is Cameron Curl. So, two Camerons. Cameron Curl feels like a player that's going to end up being an all-pro. I've always loved him from afar, and I always felt like he was just a tick away from being like super elite. I think he's going to be an all-pro. I think this will be his best season yet. I think a big problem with Cameron Curl last year and probably why he didn't get paid is he did not get paid anywhere near as much as I thought he would. I think the big reason is because he was playing in Washington, where that secondary was trying to essentially onboard, their rookie corner. That's totally blanking on my, I such a big fan of his coming out of college, and now I can't remember his name. Emmanuel Forbes. There we go. So Emmanuel Forbes was really struggling. And then you had, Benjamin St-Juste, who he flashes some really nice potential, but he was struggling. The secondary was getting eaten alive, and so it's like, committee guilt. And what it comes down to is Cameron Curl's going to get thrown in the mix. It's going to be harder to defend. Your stats aren't going to be as good. So I think this year he's got a lot around him. Best safety room I've seen the Rams have. So I think he is going to have a huge year. I feel it. Like, it's going to be like all-pro level. He might not get the all-pro, listing, but I think it's going to be on that level. Another thing I want to point out, I'm not, for whatever reason at all, maybe I should be, not at all worried about Joshua Carty. I think he's going to be great. I loved watching him in college. He became my favorite kicker in the draft pretty quickly. I know some people are nervous. I'm not nervous. I really think he's the right guy for the job. I think they nailed it with the selection, but, I know a lot of people are a little concerned there. I got to say this about the Lions, because, now Lions fans will probably be in here. They're showing up everywhere, which I appreciate, by the way. I appreciate the views. Part of me thinks the Lions are overhyped, and I'm not saying it will happen, but there's still an outside chance that the Rams do what the Bills did to them and win 31-10. Not saying it'll happen, but I kind of feel like it could, because you constantly hear the way that fan base, they just act like they won by 30. I don't get it, but yeah, that's something to me. I feel like they're getting overhyped, and still overhyped doesn't mean they're bad. I have them winning 11 games, but there's something there. There's something there, like Rams 2022 when the Bills did that to them. Like I mentioned, there's something there, but This one, I just kind of thought of like, if the Rams had to honestly, they had to answer honestly, right? Any question I asked them. And I asked them the position that they would draft in the draft. If the season ended and the draft was today, what position are you drafting? I think the Rams would say left tackle. There's just not really any guarantee there. There's two guys in contract years, and albeit, even if they brought him back, they're not quite on the level of some of the other guys. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they would probably say left tackle, maybe quarterback, maybe cornerback. Another one, how much better will the red zone offense get this year? I went back and watched the Ravens game and the Lions game, and it was really frustrating because they should have won both games. It had nothing to do with penalties or anything like that not being called. I mean, again, you could absolutely say the Puka Nacua one was egregious. It was insane. It came right after they gave the Rams a holding penalty. So, yeah, not so great. But if the Rams hit on one of those red zone opportunities and punch it in for 6, they win the game. So it's frustrating, but looking at those games, I'm like, yeah, red zone offense is everything. It really is. So that's kind of how I feel. I think they will be better this year. I think they have a bunch of weapons. I think they're going to be better this year. You can move Corum in there, Kyron, throw to Colby Parkinson. I don't know. Maybe I'll be wrong. The last thing I'll say, because I already talked about the Lions fans. I'm not going to give them too much, acknowledgement. That's the thing. It's better to just not acknowledge toxicity, and not saying all Lions fans are that way. They're not. But the ones that are, like, why even acknowledge that? So the last thing I'm going to say is this, and I appreciate you guys watching this, like, notebook list I had of, like, this stuff that I had just been jotting down, but I'm genuinely curious if the Rams are going to make an all-in trade at the deadline. I don't know who that would be. I know Marshawn Lattimore gets brought up a lot. Not like sources, but you guys bring him up a lot. I don't know the story there. I don't think that they would trade for a corner, though. I don't. If they trade for anybody, I guess I could see a corner. I could see a corner. If like Kyle Pitts became available, I think then they would be down to trade for a tight end. But like, yeah, I think maybe corner does make the most sense. Offensive line is going to be hard to pry away from anybody, but hey, if a really good left tackle became available, you got to do what you got to do, right? So anyway, those are my thoughts. Different type of video. I literally just took notes that I made and turned it into a video because, they're all things that are thought-provoking, and, if they're on my mind, now I want them to be on your mind, and yeah. That's going to do it. Appreciate you guys. I don't even know what I would call this video. I just put my thoughts together before the game for tomorrow, and that's that. So I'll see you guys soon. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. And, of course, check out today's sponsor, Prize Picks. Take care, folks. Later. For those of you who want to support the channel further, you can go ahead and you can actually sign up and become a member on the channel and have access to all different perks. You can see here the join button right below all my videos. You can hit that. You're going to get access. 99 cents a month will get you rookie access. That's going to get you all these loyalty badges and what have you, priority reply to comments. All members will have priority reply to comments. Starter $2.99. That is going to be member shoutouts. Pro Bowl is going to be auto follow back on all social media platforms. You just have to reach out to me and show me that, of course, you are a member for Pro Bowl. All Pro is members only live streams. I will be doing one a month for members only. MVP is priority call-ins. It's going to be hard to get everybody in during the season. Obviously, you will have your first crack at basically calling in to the show. And then last but not least, the Hall of Fame, which is $19.99 a month. And that is an exclusive gaming session with me monthly. So if you want to get a little bit more into the action while also helping out the channel, be sure to sign up for one of the memberships today. Do you love talking about the Rams, the NFL, or just want to be a part of a community? Join my free Discord server today. We're over 800 members. We got 24/7 live chat, a level 3 boosted server, the ability to call into JE Live, playing online games with us on Kick streams, toggleable alerts for when I go live on YouTube or Kick so you don't miss a live stream, and exclusive giveaways. Click the link in the description, the comments section, or the link that comes up in the video to learn more and join today.